The answer is yes. If you've clicked on this video, then the answer is yes. Most likely. We're going to get into it together. Today we're going to be answering the question, how can I tell if my child struggles with or has an issue with pornography? This is Coffee and Christianity. I'm your host, Adam Cruz. One of the issues we have today with the idea of pornography is because of the internet accessibility that we have today. It's like 94.6% of Americans have internet. Now let that sink in for a moment. 94.6% have the capability in their home to access unlimited information and unlimited depravity. Now think about that 94, almost 95% of every home in America has the accessibility right there to see whatever they want, whenever they want, to entertain their mind, to be driven into an area of wickedness. That's staggering, 95%. Just to put a few statistics out there, so that way we can be making sure we're on the same, you understand the gravity of the situation. Okay, this is from addictionhelp.com. And addictionhelp.com says that approximately 69% of American men and 40% of American women view online porn each year. So approximately 69% of American men and 40% of American women view online porn each year. More than 50% of Americans view pornography each year. So we start with that statistic just to show you the gravity of the situation, just to show you how much of an issue we have with this today. What would be the chance that my kid would be one of those 50%? Now, this will stagger your mind. This next statistic I'm going to give you should kind of shake us to the core of who we are. It also says on that same website, just below this point, that by teen years, most youth have been exposed to internet porn in some form, with 93% of teen boys and 62% of teen girls reporting internet porn exposure in one study. So by their teen years, kids, boys, 93% of them, so this statistic says, has been exposed to pornography, and 62% of teen girls. Now, if this trend is continuing, what does that look like for the future? But even more than this, let's put our kids into this category. If 9 out of 10 of every boy has watched pornographic material, and 6 out of 10 of every girl has as well, let's just take a step back. Are your kids one of those? Now, before you answer that question, please don't be the parent. Don't be the parent that says, oh, well, my kids never would do that. Or I don't think my kids know better than that. Or, well, I don't think my kids struggle with that. Too many parents turn the blind eye to what their kids struggle with or what they're going through. Too many parents see their kids as perfect when really your kids aren't perfect. And actually, if you only knew the half under the surface of what they're doing or going through, you would be shocked. Now, I know I've made some big accusations here. So let me tell you my story, okay? So that way you can understand how real this is. Okay, I can't give you my full story, it'd take too long, but I saw my first pornographic material somewhere between 10 and 12 years old. I don't know the exact time or date, but somewhere between 10 and 12 years old, I viewed it for the first time, and I can't get into the full story, but that led into more exposure and more exposure, more watching it, having more desires and more temptations. And then that addiction continued in my life, even into my 20s. And what's crazy about this story is that at the beginning, for the first years of it, my parents had no idea. Like my parents, as far as I know, and I've talked to them about this a little bit throughout the past couple years, but to my understanding, my parents had no idea in my early youth that I struggled with that. They had no idea that that what I was watching, what I was into, what I was doing. They had no idea. So if that's true of me, it's probably and very likely could be true of your kids. There's three ways I would say that you can tell whether your kid has a pornography issue. And I'm just going to leave it with these three ways today. And in a future video, I will do maybe a few steps, 3 steps to helping your kid through or overcoming their porn issue. But for today, let's talk about this. How can I tell if my kid is struggling or has an issue with porn? First, here's the first one. Are they a human being? Now I know it's somewhat facetious, but think about the statistics I just read. You have to assume you need to come to the realization of it's probably happening. If 6 out of 10 girls and 9 out of 10 boys are watching it, your kid's probably been exposed to it. At least if your kid's of anything above 7 or 8 years old. There's a good chance that your kid has had some experience with it. And if not, praise the Lord. Truly, praise the Lord. Keep him, guide him. But for the majority of people in America, and it's only going to get worse, this is a real issue, and you need to start assuming, not assuming that they're the 1 out of 10. Start assuming they're part of the people that are struggling. They're part of the ones that are tempted by this. So first, I say that somewhat facetiously, but also very sincerely, that is your child a human being? And if they are, hey, they're probably one of these statistics. Secondly, another way you can tell, and this is, getting back into a few of the things to look for, is you need to, the second way that you can kind of to think about this is, do they like their privacy? And I'm not speaking about introverts and extroverts. I'm speaking about there's a lot of connection here to the realm of addiction that has to do with privacy. People that struggle with addictions and issues and things that they think are wrong or things that they know that my parents wouldn't like are going to draw back, and they're going to enjoy that level of privacy, and they don't want other people around the things that they're doing. So the second way that you can tell, or at least one of the indicators, we talk about indicator lights on your car dashboard. When you see an indicator light, it's showing you there's something wrong. Hey, door ajar, or check engine, or the oil's tire pressure's low, or the oil needs to be changed. These indicator lights mean there's something going on. There's some inconsistencies. There is some kind of an issue going on that needs to be addressed. Thirdly, do they have private time with technology? Private time with technology. Is there times, do they have internet access in their room? Do they have a cell phone that they just own, that's theirs? Do they have a television screen in their room? Do they have Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, whatever it might be, game systems, video game systems in their room that they're allowed to access privately in their own free time? If that's the case, I'm not saying that every person that has this problem, but what I'm saying is there's an indicator here that is opening up a plethora of Pandora's box, that they now have the ability, or they now have the temptation constantly That if this is an issue for them, they have direct access to whatever they're feeling and whatever they're interested in. I think there's 3 indicators. You need to just start assuming it's the case. You need to start taking action steps to helping your children with this issue, regardless whether you know it's true or not. Are they a human being? Take action steps. The technology they have in that private time with technology is dangerous. I'm not saying you can get rid of all of it. I'm not saying you're going to be able to avoid all of it. That'll be in a future video. What can you do about this? Will be another video, and I hope you even watch that video when it comes out. What can I do and how can I help my kids through this? But this video is more so about changing your perception. Change your perception on the issues that are going on in our culture and learn how to say, look, my kid struggles with this, or at least there's a 90% chance that my kid struggles with this.